What is up, everybody? Welcome to 4th and 15 with Mel. I am Mel. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm also being joined by the one and only, the infamous Rico McGee. Rico, what's happening, player?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling bittersweet, but you know what, man? The Browns pulled out a solid win. Congratulations to the Browns on getting their first win of the year, but my Falcons went out there and pretty much wet the bed. So bittersweet, bittersweet.
It's still the early part of the
Yeah,
season, man. It's
exactly.
still the early part of the
Exactly.
season. We gonna get that out the way. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure Michael Penix Jr. gonna have him bounce back.
Yeah.
So while we on it, since you brought it up, let's get it started. Let's take a look at the let's go back to Thursday.
Okay.
And the Dolphins lose to the Bills 31 to 21. Their Dolphins are 0-3. Bills got one up on them in the division. What were your thoughts on this game? How did you think that this game was going to play out?
Well, I knew Buffalo was going to win. I knew Buffalo was going to win. Um, from what I heard, they offered Mike McDaniel an extension or something like that, and a lot of people are calling for his job, from what I understand. So it's kind of weird, but I knew Buffalo was going to win this game. Miami just defensively, they're having some issues. Tua isn't on the same page with his receivers, in my opinion. So I kind of saw this. I didn't even watch the game. I didn't even bother. I'm like, Buffalo's going to win this game. At least they put up 21, the Dolphins.
Look at it this way. There was a time in our lives where the Dolphins and Buffalo were literally fighting over this division.
Yep.
So I'm kind of torn by seeing Buffalo, be the bully on the block, as they say,
Mm-hmm.
because this is a long time coming. Buffalo's been waiting for this. This everybody got sick of New England. Belichick ain't there no more, so now the division's open, except for Buffalo. Now the road through the division goes through Buffalo. However, here's the stat line that I thought was interesting. Both quarterbacks in this game were held to under 300 yards passing. That was, you know, that was something that was not only startling and surprising, but it was also like, maybe the Dolphins are continuing to be what they used to be before, Tua got there, which was a thorn in everybody's side. Because how do you hold a quarterback such as Josh Allen under 300 yards passing and lose that game?
Because you still have to account for Buffalo's defense is still good. Well, their secondary has some question marks, but overall, from what I've seen, their secondary isn't as bad as what people think. Um, so I think their defense what's is really what's the word I'm looking for. Defense. I think their defense is holding up pretty good. A lot of question marks, in that secondary, but I think
It,
defensively they've got it together.
I definitely agree on the secondary part, because you have going up against a guy like Josh Allen, and even in some instances Tom Brady at one point in time. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta have a decent secondary, because if your
Yeah,
secondary is subpar, boy, you gonna have problems. It's gonna be a long day.
right.
Now we take a move into the AFC North,
Mm-hmm.
and what I am surprised at is the score that we saw today, in which the Vikings go ape on them the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know if we're being followed by the FCC, but I don't want to say nothing offensive. So the Vikings go ape on the Cincinnati Bengals. Browning gets his first start since what, 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he has trouble. But so does Carson Wentz. But how do we get to this point to where we see the Minnesota Vikings just throw the towel, or make the Bengals throw in the towel and put dang near 50? You're 2 point. I'm gonna just round it. You 50 them, put a 50 piece on the Bengals.
You know what? That was a bounce back game for the Vikings. Because last week against Atlanta, they went out there and completely wet the bed And honestly, I think that was really just the offensive line gave up 6 sacks last week, and they wanted some get back. So my whole thing is they went out there, took care of business. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the stats. Okay. Yeah, Carson Wentz had 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played like he was back at what school was that he got drafted from?
North Dakota State.
Yeah. The running game, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground for Jordan Mason.
So
Um,
basically 28 points out of your run game
48.
and pass game.
Yeah.
No, your run game and pass game, 28 points there. And then it's just, man, that's unbelievable. I don't want to say that this is now with Burrow being hurt. I don't want to say this is a story of the Bungles all over again because that was the only time in my lifetime that I remember the Bengals looking this bad. Was
Yeah.
the late 80s, early 90s, early to mid 90s. Actually, that whole decade of the 90s, they were the
Mhm.
Bungles. So Wesley, I'm sorry, don't kill me, but you were part of that team at one point, so I'm sorry. But that's I'm gonna say they're gonna bounce back, but this one is just like, eh, come on,
Offensively, they were
guys.
not great either. They only put up 10 points. I
That's
mean,
what-
you only had
it's-
12 first downs. You gave up 4 sacks, 3 fumbles, 2 picks. You had 5 turnovers in this game. I mean, Cincinnati it was just a bad effort on both sides of the ball. And I can't hear the excuses. It's next man up. Joe Burrow's hurt. You still got to go out there and do what you got to do. Now, Browning did get a touchdown, threw for 140 yards, but them 2 interceptions really hurt. Really hurt.
but again, to be fair, it's not all on him because
It's not.
as we all know, that offensive line is not where it's supposed to be,
Yeah,
has not been where it's
definitely.
supposed to be.
That's why Burrow got hurt.
At least for the last 2 years, this offensive line has not been where it's supposed to be. And that's not only, I'm not even going to say that's a coaching issue at that point. That's a
No,
front office issue because you know the problem. You just don't want to fix it. Because you don't want to fix it, now your star quarterback is hurt. Your offense
it's
looks like,
struggling.
yeah, and you just got 50 pieced by the Vikings. You don't even see these guys every year.
No.
There's no way they should put 50 up on you, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We're going to fast forward and move on. Pittsburgh beats New England 21-14. As you can see, I got my Pittsburgh shirt on. Go Steelers. Go Steelers. Yeah. But the bigger story with this game to me was Drake May outpasses Aaron Rodgers. However, defense comes through for the Steelers, which is something we're already used to here in the AFC North because you got to have defense. Don't
Mhm.
matter if it's the Ravens, Browns, Bengals, or the Steelers. Everybody keeps saying the defense is what's holding. Well, I'm not going to say everybody. I'm going to say our constituents in the mainstream are pretty much hard up on the fact that defense, or it appears that the defense is holding back the Steelers, especially with a new quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So veteran experience should be there. I'm not going to say that. We've known this for the last 5 years at the very minimum that the Steelers start slow.
Mhm.
And because they start slow, they're going to look like, hey, you guys might want to get a little younger on defense. That veteran defense is what's carried the Steelers to the playoffs the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm not going to change
I
nothing.
agree. If it
If the
ain't
wind
broke, don't
broke,
fix it.
don't fix it. Exactly.
If it ain't
So,
broke, why would I fix it?
right. Aaron did throw an interception in this game. He was not sacked, however. And that's the biggest thing about this because when you don't get sacked as much, especially as many times as Drake May was sacked. May was sacked 5 times. So apparently that Steeler defense ain't as old as everybody thought it was to get to that quarterback 5 times. Not saying Drake May, Drake May's Michael Vick or anything, but he's not very mobile. So
Right.
because he's not very mobile, he relies on getting the ball out. 5 sacks says a lot.
Definitely. Definitely. And what people got to understand is you got a new quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, new players on offense. You signed DK Metcalf, few new faces. So the offense has to take time to mesh. I think the reason why we put so much pressure on our defense is because the offense doesn't perform to the point that we would like them to perform. And this is for any team. I'm not even talking about just Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of pressure on the defense when the offense doesn't do what it's supposed to do. That's why, we look at Myles Garrett the way some of us do. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I really think Pittsburgh's defense, this is still early season football. And you're 2-1. You're
Mm-hmm.
2-1. It's not like you're 0-3. It's not like you're 1-2. You're 2-1. And Pittsburgh is a team that they figure, like you said, they figure it out as the season goes along, especially around late November, early December, when it's grind time and them games really start to matter.
I agree because for those of you who have ever been on the football field or in football camp or whatever the case, been around football, you know the offense is always the last to catch up because they have so much to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because the offense stinks. It's not because Aaron Rodgers is a terrible quarterback or DK Metcalf ain't cutting it no more. It's literally because they have more to learn. There's more responsibility. And I feel like I've heard this, but now speaking as a player, I feel like this holds more truth now more than ever because there's more responsibility for the offense than it is the defense because there's so much more to learn, so much more to understand. The terminology is very vastly different. 9 times out of 10, not too many defensive schemes or terminologies are going to change. So with that, I'm just going to say by week 6, Steelers offense will be catching up,
Yep.
and don't be surprised because you know
And you
that's not
got a good offensive. I'm not to cut you off. I'm sorry. You
no.
got
Go
a
ahead.
good offensive line. They didn't give up any sacks today. That's
What
half
else
the
do you
battle right
need?
there.
What else do you need?
Right. That's half the battle right there.
Keep your quarterback upright. He'll win it for you. And Aaron Rodgers won it for him. So
Exactly.
I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna say by week 6, this offense will probably be in a situation where y'all don't need to worry. So Steeler fans, don't get on our team so much. Just understand that this is gonna be the situation up until week 6. They got a lot to learn. It's a lot more of, hey guys, you know, we gonna get it together. Week 6, my money's on it.
Yep.
Speaking of money, Browns still won. Literally, still a win from the Green Bay Packers, who were previously undefeated going into that game. They
Mm-hmm.
Browns beat the Packers 13-10, avenge a 2021 loss because everybody got to remember you don't see the Packers but once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So Browns still won from the Packers 13-10, and literally all of this is done within like the last 5 minutes of the game. Last 5 minutes of the game, Browns get a stop, drive down the field, kick a field goal with Schmidt. Uh, Quinshawn Junkins then gets a touchdown, ties up the game, and then to block what was supposed to be the game-winning field goal, to block it, I honestly thought it was either Newsom or Delpit, one of the two, should have got the scoop and score on that one. But because they didn't, uh, Flacco drives down. Schmidt kicks a 55-yard game-winning field goal, walks off, game over. What were your thoughts? Because and I'm glad we are touching this because I sat there and I watched your latest video on the Browns and Joe Flacco. I didn't disagree with it, but I did have some questions. And one of my questions was, what are you hearing out of your side of town and out of your reports and your sources that made you make this video with the question in mind? Is it time to bench Flacco?
number one, people are saying he's old. He's 40 years old.
So
You
was
know,
Brady.
exactly. Well, you got Brady was one of a kind. You understand?
True, true.
He's one of a kind. We'll touch that. We're gonna touch that another day. But people feel like number one, he's not getting the ball down the field. The offense just doesn't. It just seems stagnant under Flacco, and they're not putting points on the board. You've got some talent on offense and Judkins in that run game. That run game is solid. You saw what Judkins did. You're seeing what Sampson's doing. I think Polk is a pretty good receiver. I really do. He made this one nice little catch. Had it not been offensive pass interference that they called, probably would have, But I think a lot of players just feel like it's time for him to just sit down, sit him on the bench, and see what you got in Gabriel, and see if Gabriel can provide a spark offensively. Because it seems like the offense is just dead under Flacco. And this is
Well,
no disrespect to Flacco at all, but people want to see, what you got in Gabriel. Because, I mean, he's 40. He doesn't, ain't no telling how much time he has. You got to see what you got in Shador or Gabriel, and they're probably going to go with Gabriel, but
I don't disagree with that notion. However, this we all knew when the schedule came out going into the first half of the season, this was going to be the toughest stretch of your season.
mhm.
You were in virtually every game. Okay, does that Baltimore score look, does that Baltimore game give you the impression? Yeah, it gives you the impression, but for those of us that watched it,
You
Lamar
didn't play
Jackson
that
didn't
bad.
go off. Yeah, Lamar Jackson didn't go off like he normally would against this Browns defense.
You held
This
Derrick Henry to what, 23 yards the whole game? You held Derrick Henry. So your defense is going to keep you in the game. It's just the offense has got to figure it out. Y'all have got to figure it out offensively.
and with that figuring it out, because here's the stat line for that. Flacco went 21 to 36, one interception, 142 yards. Judkins goes off damn near 100-yard game. The leading receiver was David Njoku. I don't agree with the tight end being the leading receiver, but it's Njoku, so I'll let it pass.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the sacks were there, the tackles were there. Schweisinger is panning out to look like a good draft pick, and that's going to help Myles Garrett because you saw Myles Garrett got a sack today.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I'm thinking, going off of talking with you on a regular, talking with Ken on a regular, what I'm going with is I think they're going to ride Flacco till they can't ride Flacco no more.
Yeah,
Do
I
I
think so too.
do I agree with this approach? Yes, and here's why. We know what Flacco can do. We know I get it. He's old, blah da 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 da. But here's the common denominator in all of this. He's successful. Think about that, folks. He's successful. He himself helped take the Browns to the playoffs a couple years back when Watson went down. He himself has also won a Super Bowl. He himself going around being the journeyman now at this point in the stage in the game. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick 2.0. The only difference is the team that's around him now is not the same team that was there come playoffs. Nick Chubb ain't there no more. Uh, that offensive line has been reshuffled so many times. You might as well call them the deck of cards because that's the most important part of this Browns offense, and everybody knows this is the offensive line. It's not Flacco, it's not Gabriel, not Shador, not even Judkins. It's that offensive line. So because that offensive line has been reshuffled, plug and play, somebody's hurt, somebody, we need to find somebody. You're going to have this type of Browns game, and this one was needed.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Oh,
Actually, go ahead. I'm sorry.
to call it an ugly win, but a win's a win.
Hey, listen.
A win is a win.
I will take
However,
ugly win
however you,
over a beautiful loss any day.
my man.
Give me that
However you
ugly win. I
want to
don't
throw
care
it.
how ugly it is.
Yeah, however you want to throw it out there in the W column, it counts as a win.
It's a win. I'll take it. I think another thing. I mean, Cleveland. I think they have the top defense. They're the number one defense in points allowed this season. So if the defense, of course, you can't rely on the defense all season, but you just,
I
I
could.
don't know how you get this offense off the ground. How do you,
Well, today didn't look bad. Like everybody, you got to realize the Packers defense is a lot better than we all give
yeah,
it credit for.
yeah, true.
So, and they're playing in what I like to look at as the second toughest division in all of football, and that's the NFC North. You still got Chicago, you still got Detroit, and you still got Minnesota to deal with. So we're looking at two black and blue divisions, and we're expecting 50 points from each team. It's not going to happen.
No,
It's not going to happen. So
especially not if you're playing the AFC North team, it's not going.
exactly. So folks, get that thought out your mind. If you'll see a shootout in the AFC West, you ain't seeing it in the North.
Mm-mm.
With that, the Browns next week take a trip up north, go to Detroit. How are you feeling? I know you're not a Browns fan, but we are living in Cleveland, so regional television says we're going to be watching Lions versus Browns. So how are you feeling about the Great Lakes battle?
I wasn't really big on Detroit this year, and I'm not completely. I think Cleveland could definitely go 2-2. I think Cleveland wins next Sunday against Detroit. Now they play Baltimore tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken, in the Monday Night Football game.
Yes,
Right?
they do.
Okay,
Yes,
so they
they
play
do.
Baltimore. I got to look at that Lions Ravens game tomorrow night. But Detroit is not. I don't know. They lost a lot of guys to free agency, lost a lot of coaches, but they still did a number on Chicago, who I think is a better team, despite what people give Chicago credit for. I think the Browns could win next week against Detroit.
Bruh, it's Chicago.
True. I
It's
understand.
Chicago. I
I
I
understand.
I I get it, but
I understand.
I know we got to be professional sometimes, but bruh, it's Chicago. It's Chicago. The ghost of Barry Sanders still haunts them, and Barry ain't played in over 20 years.
True. True.
But since you brought up the Lions and the Ravens game, I am interested. This is an interesting game for me because I want to see realistically, I want to see how the Ravens will stack up against that Detroit defense. Yes,
Mhm.
Detroit did. You are right. Detroit did lose a lot. You know, it's it was coming. It was coming. Free agency haunts us all. But is this Detroit defense still good enough to corral a quarterback like Lamar Jackson?
Well, shoot, you got Derrick Henry coming out the backfield. You got Andrews at the tight end. I mean, he has a lot of weapons offensively, so it ain't nothing for him to dump the ball off. Plus, he's got them legs too. He can make something out of nothing. I don't watch this man make $1 out of 15 cents a
Hey,
bunch of times. So
to be honest with you, I'm still mad at Andrews, so I don't even count him in the scenario.
yeah, he pissed me off.
I'm still mad at him about last year.
Yeah,
But I digress. Um, Matchup predictor from ESPN has Baltimore winning this by 56.4%. But the kicking game for Baltimore has not been perfect. And I think that's going to play a factor in. Now, mind you, Baltimore is at home. This is the 30th year or 30th anniversary of the Ravens. So, with all of this being said, is there too much pressure on them because of this 30th anniversary type of scenario? Or are we looking at something that is probably going to fuel them into a contending season?
I think it's gonna fuel them. I don't think their first home game, the opening. I have a friend of mine actually who I used to work with, who's a diehard Ravens fan. He said, "Listen, bro, this is we determined, we focus." Because I actually said last week I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland upset Baltimore, but I wouldn't be. I think this is. I think Baltimore is going to go on a run this year. I think that Week 1 debacle against Buffalo really they took that on the chin and they learned from that, and they're gonna be pretty good moving forward. So I think Baltimore's going to go on a nice little run.
Fair enough. Now, here's the tail of the tape for that matchup. Uh Golf has 559 yards so far. Jackson has 434. Golf has thrown an interception. The rushing yards, Gibbs is not too far behind Henry. Gibbs has 132. Henry has 192. He's got 2 touchdowns. The real battle here for me is going to come with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Zay Flowers. Who's going to have the better game? Because receiving, while we know the defenses are there. So who's going to be the better receiver to help out this offense?
Baltimore's got a good receiving. I would say probably Baltimore. Really, I think the battle's going to be won on the ground. I think that run game for Detroit is still there, and they don't call them Sonic and Knuckles for nothing. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. I think Baltimore, not Baltimore. I'm sorry. I think Detroit's run game is probably going to be the one that's the difference maker in this game.
Obviously, they got a space age robot who is damn near unstoppable at 38 years old.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how a dude that big, that strong, that fast can keep that intensity for that long.
Definitely.
It boggles my mind. However, we're gonna go back to the Browns game because I still want to talk about this. What were your thoughts? Because I know you watched it, even though, well, I know you got the Falcons on too, but I know you watched the Browns game. So I got to ask, what's the missing component outside of the offense? What is the missing component that the Browns need to keep winning and having success on the field this year?
From what I saw today, probably chemistry. I think chemistry is the missing component. Joe Flacco missed a lot of throws. He got bailed out, a lot of pass interference calls. Some of them were kind of ticky-tack calls to me personally.
Oh, bro, I have never seen I have. So I have seen
some of those calls were ticky-tacky. They was calling that game a little tighter, a little too tight for my comfort, but it is what it is. I think offensively for the Browns, they just got to build that chemistry. I think it's chemistry. I think Joe Flacco missed a lot of open throws. He had one throw, I think it was in early fourth quarter, and I'm like, where the hell are you throwing that to, man? I looked, that ball went up, and I'm like, okay, somebody's over there. Incomplete, and I didn't see a receiver within 10 yards of it. I'm like, okay, that's a chemistry issue. He's got to build chemistry with these new players, with these new faces. I think that's the missing component from the offense. I think once the chemistry comes along, the Browns will be fine. I think Cleveland is not a bad football team. This frustrating, I understand, but
man, they I could just imagine what Monday was gonna look like had they lost this game. Because I was looking at them the Packers lineup for the field goal, and I was like, I go to work with a lot of Browns fans.
Mm-hmm.
I got to hear about this all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see the block. And that right there shows me that this is not a bad team.
They're not a bad team.
Because when most teams line up for a game-winning field goal, they don't even put half of the effort in that you saw with that block. And that's the difference between what we would be used to with the Browns as opposed to this is actually a team that wants to win.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I think most football fans who happen to be supportive of the Browns, I'm not going to say the Browns fans because we already know how they are, but football fans that are supportive of the Browns, I think we all see it. I think we just don't want to, put the cart before the horse per se.
Yeah. And you can't with the Browns. When you are a Browns fan, you got to
have a lot of patience.
You got to have a lot of patience. You can't go one game at a time. You have to go one quarter at a time with the Browns. You have to take it one quarter at a time. So
take that first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
First quarter, first 10 minutes. Let's see how we looking.
right. You know,
Now,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
now I was gonna say, I want to tell you folks at home, keep in mind the Packers who we've seen, like I said, the Packers were 2-1. They've literally put up 20 points in both games, both their wins. They put up damn near 30 points both times. They put 27 against the Lions, 27 against the Commanders. So they're prone to put up points. They were held to 3 points for primarily majority of the game. So
Mhm.
that's a testament to that Browns defense because that field goal came early in the second quarter. That touchdown came late in the third quarter.
Mhm.
So the Browns defense put a lot of pressure on that Packers offense, which made Jordan Love make a mistake and throw the interception to Delpit
Mhm.
because Delpit played that perfectly as
Yeah,
a
he
DB.
did. Yeah,
And
he did.
now with that, Flacco drives him down the field. Judkins finishes it off, gets the touchdown. Now you're back in the game. If I personally believe if the Browns can start this off early on in the game, at least get some type of points, put some type of pressure on that other team's defense, they'll be fine. Me
I
personally,
agree.
after watching the first 3 games of the season, I am starting to believe you are correct. It is a chemistry issue. Flacco's got to get with these guys after games or after practices, whatever. Hey, meet me here, like uh Malik Wright did with Dervin Davis to get ready for the playoff game. Meet me here, turn your lights on. We gonna run some routes. It's something that's a chemistry issue, a bonding issue. Y- Once we see that, I think they'll be okay.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's still early season football. You're 1-2. It's not like you're 0-3. It's not like you've been blown out in all 3 games. And that, like I said, man, that week 2 loss to Baltimore was really that game was a lot closer than what the score said it was, in my opinion.
It
Y'all,
was. It
that
was.
listen, the Browns are not a bad team. Y'all got a good team. Y'all just got to continue to work on some things. That's all. And as every team.
Yeah, especially this early in the season.
Yeah.
All right. Great Lakes battle is next week. Who you got? So we can close this out. Who you got? Browns or you got the Lions?
Give me the Browns. Give me the Browns.
I have, unfortunately, I got the Lions by a late field goal.
Okay.
And I'm not betting against this. Everything things could change. But I just feel like because the chemistry issue is there and the secondary for the Lions is just a little bit better than the
Yeah.
Browns right now, I think that's the edge. So the kicking game and the Lions secondary is what I think is going to give the game to the Lions. But this is football. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Speaking of which, I wasn't going to talk about it before we go
I
because
knew
I
this
was
was coming.
pissed.
I knew this was coming.
If I could write a letter, I would start off the letter with this. Dear Atlanta Falcons fans, where's my hat? What the hell I do with it? It's okay. We will be just fine. This is a process. You have a quarterback who's only played his third game of the season. Listen, we got killed today, 30-0. Just look bad on both sides against the rival. And I know we all I don't hate the Panthers, but we lost, right? I think, we still trying to, form some things, man. I think we still trying to figure some things out. And it's early season football. We're 1-2. It's not like we're 0-3. We've shown signs of where we can be good at. I'm not really upset about the loss. What you think?
I think y'all will be okay. Michael
Yeah,
Penix Jr. is a good quarterback. The team is still young. Team is still trying to figure it out.
yeah,
It's gonna be okay, man. It's only week 3 in the NFL season.
yeah.
It's only week
Exactly.
3.
It's
Everybody
only
relax. Everybody,
Falcons
from the
fans gotta
Panthers,
relax.
from the Falcons fans to the Giants fans, everybody relax. Just
Just
relax. When
relax.
when it starts to hit week 7, week 8, and you still behind the eight ball, now you panic.
Yeah,
But for right now, just relax.
that's it. And I'm gonna tell you why on the Rulers Minute, man.
Don't forget to go slide on over to the Rulers Minute with that episode when he drops it. Be on the lookout for it this week. Like and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram and Twitter. Follow all your news. We got it all for you, baby. Oh, while I'm at it, while I'm thinking about it, we will be down in Indianapolis, Indiana this weekend for the Midwest Bowl Series. Got some great games going on. We'll see who ends up in nationals and pro advancement football this year. So it might be some new teams that go down to Florida this year. We don't know yet, but we will be in attendance for it, and we will be bringing you all that action starting Saturday this weekend. So, with that being said, this will be the end of 4th and 15 for right now. Thank you, Rico, for joining me today. I appreciate you so much. You deserve the flowers. And, you know, we'll come back next week and see how the Browns do, see how the Steelers do, and see how Rico's Falcons do. So, for 4th and 15, that's Rico. I'm Mel. Peace.